Hey everyone, welcome back to another tutorial from your Paint Couture creative team. This is Melinda from MTZ Crew Designs, and today I'm sharing how I created this spooky glam Halloween mixed media decor piece. It's full of texture, sparkle, and just a little bit of witchy magic. Okay, let's get started. Today I'll be using this iFlex wood tray along with the new Bewitched collection from Redesign with Prima. I love this tray so much. It has so many uses, but my favorite is to use it for wall decor craft ideas. So the first thing I'm going to do is start pouring my resin appliques using the silicone molds. I'm using the rapid casting resin from Paint Couture's Capital Crafts. It does come in the color black or white, and I'm going to use both today for variation. But I love this product because you just mix equal parts of step 1 and step 2 in a cup. Pour them into your molds, and within 10 minutes they're ready to be demolded and used for your crafts or your furniture. I love this stuff. I use it so much. I'm making several different castings here because when I pour molds, I pour several at a time so that I have extra appliques on hand, you know, just for some projects that may come up on the whim. And then the rapid casting resin actually comes in different sizes. So if you don't use it a lot, you can get a smaller size. It comes in a 4-ounce size or an 8-ounce size. But I usually buy the 16-ounce sizes because I go through it so much. Okay, so now I am painting all of my white castings in black. I'm using pitch black from the Paint Couture's acrylic mineral line. Getting these ready because I'm going to put a metallic colors over these. So I like to have the black on there as a base. And then I'll use the same pitch black on my floral wood tray. This is the floral wood tray from iFlex Wood Products, and the code for this tray is WD1003. And so once this tray dries, I'm ready to move on to decoupaging my image on there. And I'm using the 12 by 12 scrapbooking paper from the Bewitched collection. And it is a thicker type of paper, like a cardstock material, but you can still decoupage with that type of material. So I'm laying down a layer of my Paint Couture Decoupage Medium in the finish of matte. Then I'm putting the paper down flat and pushing out any air bubbles that may be underneath there. And then I'll go back over it again with another layer of the Decoupage Medium from Paint Couture. And then just making sure to keep any air bubbles out and then allow that some time to dry. Okay, so I'm going to use Paint Couture's acrylic mineral paint in the colors Madagascar Mocha, Peace, and Eggplant, and I'm just using them in a dry brushing fashion to blend out the edges of the paper. So not a lot of paint on my brush, just dry brushing these colors stacked on top of each other in layers, and that gives the illusion of the paper being carried out to the edge of the tray. And then there's still plenty more embellishments to come. So hang tight and I'll show you how I'm going to add additional embellishments to disguise that line between the paper and the tray. And then since I'm such a huge fan of dimension, I'm going to use these gift tags to cut out an image of these spooky little ghosts to put behind this resin applique frame that I poured. And now I'm going to use Paint Couture's Embossing Medium to create a little bit of a raised stencil effect. I'm using this Ciao Bella script stencil, and it's just going to give a little bit more dimension and character to the tray. And then because I got some of this embossing medium over the image, I didn't want to cover. I'm just using a silicone tool to pull it back while it's still wet. While it's still wet, you can do that. And then you just want to set it aside to dry, or you can use a drying tool to speed up the drying time. Okay, and now for the fun part. I am using Paint Couture's metallic paints to start painting my resin appliques. Paint Couture has the most amazing metallic paints. They're so rich in color, very deeply concentrated, so a little bit of color goes a long way. And so I'm starting off with the color Royal Silk on the house here, this little spooky haunted house. I love the purples, but Royal Silk is a really pretty color because it has like a deep, kind of like a bronzy-ish gold undertone. So it's a really pretty spooky vibe, I think. And then I'm using Mercury on the rooftops and the trimmings of the windows and the doors, and then on the little cobblestone steps here at the bottom. And then I used bronze and walnut on the tree, and I used walnut on that little fence. And then I'm using harvest maple and sunflower in the windows. And I'm just kind of blending them together in the windows, and it gives that spooky haunted vibe. It's so cute. And then, of course, I'll use harvest maple on the pumpkins. And then I'll use the color Oyster Pearl on the little ghost trick-or-treater there in front. And I'll use a little bit of black pearl to fill in the eyes and some other areas that need a little bit of attention to the details. And so I'm also going to paint this frame in the color Royal Silk. I love this color so much. It's so pretty. And then I'll also paint the flowers in a few different colors. I'm going to use Purple Moon, which is a really pretty bright purple. I'll also use Lilac and Lavender and the color Blush. And they all kind of go along with the theme of the embellishments and the paper. So now that my embossing medium is dry, I want to put a little bit of a paint wash over it to kind of tone down the white. So I'm using those same three colors, the Madagascar Mocha, the Peace, and the Eggplant. And it's just kind of age it out a little bit. So now that my castings are dry, I'm going to use a wood glue to adhere them onto the tray. And while those are drying, I'm going to start painting the flowers on the edge of the tray. And I'm using the same colors that I used on my castings. So Purple Moon, Lilac, Lavender, and Blush. And I'll put 2 coats on the flowers just because I want them to be really bright and vivid. And then I'm going to start adding all of my embellishments and just kind of figuring out where I want to place them. So this is just me figuring out where I want to put them on the tray. And then I'm going to use my hot glue gun to start gluing everything down. So this is where it just kind of starts to come to life here with all of the embellishments and all the extra character that we're going to put on this tray. And so what I'm doing here is I'm adding the Paint Couture's German glass glitter as an additional embellishment. And I'm using Paint Couture's top coat in the color flat. So I'm adding the top coat, and then I'm immediately putting the glitter onto where I've added the top coat, and then it just acts as a glue. And it gives that additional wow factor. And guys, this isn't just your average craft glitter. It's actually made from real glass. So it catches the light like tiny little crystals. It's so pretty. And this is the purple color. It's called Wisteria. And now I'm using my gilding wax in gold to go over some of my castings and some of the areas where there's peaks of interest that would really sparkle, like the edge of the tray. It just kind of gives it that extra finish. It looks so pretty. And that's it. Our haunted Halloween mixed media piece is complete. It's full of texture, color, and a little bit of spooky charm. I hope this inspired you to mix different materials you might have and just kind of have fun experimenting with Paint Couture products and iFlex wood products. I really appreciate you watching this video. And if you're curious to know exactly what products I used, I'll make sure I list them down below. And if you do feel inspired, I'll also include my affiliate link down below so that you can create your own projects. Again, I'm Melinda from MTZ Crew Designs, and thanks again for watching this video from your Paint Couture creative team. If you would like and subscribe so that you don't miss out on future tutorials from our Paint Couture creative team, that would be awesome. And we really appreciate you being here. Have a good one. Bye.